Yeah, what's good, YouTube? Hopefully that's not too loud. I know they said last time my mic was a little low, but I'm trying to fix it. But what's good, YouTube? You guys can see the title, man. Now, I'm going to do this a little differently. Like, I'm going to go through the video because I've been getting spammed this video. Let me preface. I've been getting spammed this video quite a bit on IG. A lot of my close friends have kind of sent it to me too. A lot of them even have said that they've seen the video and avoided sending it because they didn't want me to kind of re-enter this space. It's gotten to the point now, man, where I'm a little older. I haven't really touched on this, and I'm gonna be honest, talking through this with Jalen specifically, he kind of said something that kind of hit home for me. And he told me, like, everybody can't be the one to tell my story without me telling it. Everybody always has their perspective on things, and I never really just shared mine. I always tried to take the high road. And I just kind of hope that you guys could kind of figure it out on your own. But we just kind of live in a space now, man, where people can't really identify or want to identify what may be true and what may not be true. So you kind of got to put all the facts out there for people to really have a true understanding of what has happened. I think I'm in a space now where I'm willing to talk about it, not because I'm trying to get views, not because I'm trying to be toxic or petty, or it's none of that. I'm trying to move past this completely, honestly, bro. Because I'm going places and people still really just calling me KICKGENIUS. Like, yo, KICKGENIUS. Bro, my name is Jeremy, bro. I think sometimes you guys forget who I am and what I've been through to get to this point. So this may be a long video. I'm going to just break everything down after watching this. So I won't give too much insight throughout this, but I will kind of touch on some of the parts that were correct, a little more incorrect. So if y'all got a minute, really listen. If you here and you really want some, really get here. This one and done. I'm one and done with this.
Kid dreams of making it to the league, to have a mixtape, to get a shoe deal, to sign a sponsorship. But these dreams die fast. The NBA is full of ultra-athletic 7-footers that average basketball.
Shout out Dwight. I met Dwight the other day with my boy Snipe.
YouTube came along. With just a camera and a little bit of personality, you could
shout out so Illuminati back. It's a lot of irony in all of this. It really is. Like, I feel like YouTube is kind of coming back in a way that touches on a lot of OG creators. And so was one of those. I mess with So Heavy.
Suddenly, it wasn't just NBA players chasing the spotlight.
Shout out Dev.
From D3 hopefuls to LA
Young T-Jazz.
Everyone was chasing views.
Shout out Sale.
And a shot to continue their hoop dreams. In the middle of it all, there was a duo. They had something that no one else did.
Yeah.
Love for the game that felt authentic, with personalities that felt relatable.
My
Their
throat
chemistry
crazy.
helped them catapult to over 900,000 subscribers, endorsements from Adidas and Foot Locker, and a community of loyal fans. And then, it all stopped.
Remember, I'm not going to say too much here. I'll share my thoughts at the end.
Damn, dude, what? Wake me up out my sleep.
This story begins back in 2012.
This is one of them classic vids right here that everybody be talking about.
Who loved to hoop. They met in college and clicked immediately, bonding over their love for sneakers and basketball.
This is true.
I met Trey, and we went to hoop, and I was like, damn, he kind of cold. More time went on. We started discussing kicks. Found out he had a sneaker collection that was 5 times better than mine. I thought I was hard.
They started.
True. I'm going to get into that because I'm going to go from start to finish. That's true. Bonded over kicks. Had the same scholarship at the time. True. Facts.
Making what they called performance reviews, where they would test out basketball shoes by actually playing in them. They weren't just unboxing or reading off specs. They were really on the court, cutting, sliding, pulling up, and then breaking it all down on film. My favorite part of these was the traction tests.
Hold on. That's true. Traction test. Y'all see a lot of people doing that now. We started that. Honestly, that may have been Trey's idea as like to think about it in a way to kind of test it. Y'all see all these people doing these traction tests now? Nobody was doing that on the internet at the time.
See how the grip held up in real games. And honestly, I wasn't buying a shoe unless it passed the test. These performance reviews set them apart from nearly every other basketball channel at the time. And they worked because Trey and Jay could really hoop. You weren't out there watching some 40-year-old talking about cushioning. But while they were
go get
in
him.
their own way, early on it was Trey wasn't just a good reviewer. He was the star.
Yeah, the losers always want another game, dog. Winners be chilling. I got you, bro. I got you another game. Give me
ready for it.
Yeah!
That boy hovered.
Yeah. Them SneakerCon days was underrated. Them SneakerCon
Back in
days was
2016, Trey had it all. He had what I would call the big three. He had a 40-inch vertical, a smooth handle, and a nice jumper. I'd put him toe-to-toe with some of the top creators on YouTube today. And it wasn't just us who saw it, the brands did too. It's not a coincidence that Trey played a lead role in almost every ad they landed.
Oh yeah, you ain't done that yet.
Oh, that's the air raid. That's the air raid. That's
But
the
it
air
really
raid.
wasn't just his game. He could carry a video just by being himself.
I'm gonna tell you.
That was Paul George?
Yeah.
I think it's over with though.
Nah, it ain't over.
I think so because, bruh, you know that.
Paul George still gave him 30, I think.
I don't think it matters though.
Bro, who's the best point guard of all time?
AI. I think
Kobe is-
Westbrook is really the representation of what Jordan would do today. That's what I'm saying.
Got the New York hat.
It is. I know y'all.
I was trying it.
But while Trey was stealing the spotlight, Jay Jones was working on his game. And he
True. As you guys will see it as a maybe like a popularity standpoint. I never wanted to be in the spotlight like that to begin with, bro. Like, if you know my personality, I'm really more of a laid back, chill type of guy. So very much a team player, a guy who just likes to work hard, lay low, handle my business, get in, get out. As far as being the popular YouTuber, that was never my goal. I did want to get better at ball, always. And to be real, the performance test helped with that. You got to think, we were going through drills, watching ourselves hoop, and doing this so consistently that we didn't have a choice but to get better. It was no better situation for me. I'm gonna be real.
He was quietly catching up.
Can't nobody guard me anyway.
Man, the butter.
Boy, I tell you. About my bread like a red gaining power.
Alright, see, you lost me. First of all, who prospects, who are you? And how'd you get all this footage? Let me say that first. Who are you? How'd you get this footage? How'd you find this song?
Like electro.
Good hands.
Game plan, but I mess around and get
My fault, Art. My fault, Art.
Fully automatic coming at your door. We about to go, you already know.
Hey!
Green light, and then it's time to go. Oh.
I want to see the Jeep. Go check out this Jeep.
Jeremy was a problem in his own right. First of all, the dude is only like 5'8".
That's good footage.
He's still out here winning.
Hey!
Secondly, his mid-range was automatic.
Bye-bye.
Everyone knew it was coming, but no one could stop it.
Bye-bye. That look good.
Here comes Jay Jones though.
That's his mid-range
Da,
monster.
da, da, da.
And on top of it all, Jay was a real
Let me get that off you.
player. Once he put on some weight, he became a lockdown defender. He got so good that he even handed a loss to one of the best YouTubers out right now.
Hey, we're about to run one-on-one real quick. We're going to 15. We talked about it.
Boy, that was a battle, though. And I'm going to tell you like this. I'm glad I caught Frigo when I did, bro. Because Frigo on a different level right now. My knees too bad. Life works the way that it's supposed to. I can tell you that. And we talked about it then, bro. Them games could have went either way. That game itself could have went either way. Good swing. It's tough. Frigo did miss a lot of open shots too. That's contested though. Good hand. Over the top. Also, all right, this is my last time stopping. Y'all got to understand, during that time, too, because I knew I was about to get active, I was in the lab with Clay 3-4 times a week. That's about COVID-ish. I was in the lab. The only reason why I hate it to this day, bro, I ended up getting hurt. I had that Achilles and that foot thing, and I was in that boot. Bro, if I didn't have that, I was finna get active, bro. I'm actually more skilled now, but I just lost my athleticism because of my knees.
But while Jay was on the rise, Trey completely disappeared. To understand the fall of KickGENIUS, you have to understand the state of YouTube basketball in the early 2010s. Back then, channels really didn't compete with each other. Sure, Verse 1 Federation had 1v1s, but they were mostly local matchups, guys from the same city. You didn't see Dev play Cell or Jay Jones play Red. Everyone stayed in their own lane.
For the most part, that's right.
Changing in the late 2010s. Streamers like Flight started to challenge other creators to 1v1s, and the views exploded.
That's crazy.
Then came the park runs with Friga, Wild Hunt, Savage Squad,
That's
and
tough.
suddenly YouTube basketball got competitive. The landscape had shifted, and Jay Jones, he started to adapt, but Trey, he just didn't. And everything came to a breaking point in 2018 when Jesser and LSK put KickGENIUS into retirement.
That's where, not gonna lie, this cap. And I think what kind of sucks though is, you know, Jesser's a very popular YouTuber. He's doing his thing, and I'm happy for him. But he kind of let people run with that narrative that they kind of ended KG, I guess. Bro, that's just not true. It had nothing to do with the basketball games, bro. Like, people think you lose a basketball game and that's the end of the world. Do you know, like I hooped for real. Not like YouTube hoops, but like I actually played ball. We lost the game and that was the end. They couldn't regroup. Oh, bro. Let me, like, it ain't got nothing to do with that. Even when we were playing, bro, I played, no bull, I think this day alone, I played like 4 different games. I remember cramping a lot in this last game. No excuses, we lost. We took the L. Dev needed one. I played 2 games with Dev that day. He picked me up on the squad. We ended up playing Cash and Mal too. Beat them, and then we had to play LSK and Jesser. And I think we were all under the impression that we was just gonna play 1 game, but the event was just happening so fast. They ended up playing 1. They beat us. They got the trophy. Coincidentally, we ended up splitting, which I'll get to some reasons after this. Running with that narrative that we were ended by a simple 2v2 game, cut it out. I can't honor that, bro. I can't honor that one. That's some bullshit, I'm gonna be honest. And if y'all believe in that, then y'all on some bullshit. I don't mind losing.
But something was definitely up. Their body language was bad. Their chemistry was gone.
And it was a closer game than people. Like, look how I'm running. I was tired.
His last real 2v2, and things went downhill.
And he's showing the doinks.
In the next year, Trey completely disappeared from YouTube. For a while, no one really knew what happened. Then in 2020, they reconciled, or at least they tried to.
Like, if you got a relationship with like a girl or something, a lot of the times why a man will run from a situation from a woman, it's because he has something going on with himself. And so that's the only point I want to drive home. It's nothing that really happened between us.
Like, we still boys, you know what I'm saying? I still want to be able to be a good friend, you know what I'm saying? Like, we've had a lot of good times, and, you know, hopefully we can still continue to.
This was also pretty vague, and I think that's what the people were still having issues with, which I see that now. We had a lot of conversations off camera before we came on camera. The stuff that we had that was said off camera, which I'm going to briefly touch on after we complete this video, didn't make it here. But we didn't want it to at the same time because we knew kind of where we were headed. Or at least I thought we knew. Like, the conversation was almost made for you guys and not for us, if I'm being real. We had discussed it, was trying to get past it, was trying to move on, and that was kind of the way that we thought was best at the time. It didn't answer enough. Of course, we ended up having the second channel, House, after that. Even then, as you can see, that didn't last much longer.
To have, you know, like, better times.
We're kind of in this moment where we see a lot of opportunity to kind of get back what we used to have.
Right.
And for me, it almost feels too good to be true.
It was indeed too good to be true.
It was, though.
They briefly made reaction videos on a channel called House before Trey disappeared again. And this time, he deleted everything. All the KickGENIUS videos, all the House videos, they're all gone. As for Jay Jones, he still uploads here and there, but his videos just really aren't the same. And to me,
can't honor that. The thought behind my videos not being the same, maybe because you don't have the same interests, is kind of BS to me too. I never stopped doing what I was doing. There were times where I guess I would be a little discouraged, I guess you can say, but I never stopped. I never gave up on anything, on myself, on what I was trying to accomplish, on the performance test, none of that. And a lot of people grew up too, so they weren't really searching for shoes. But again, bro, I was passionate about what I was doing.
The worst part of all of this is that you can't go back and watch their old videos. It's like one of the most influential basketball channels on YouTube never existed. Now look, I'm not saying they need to team up again and be buddy-buddy. People grow apart, it happens. But if either of you see this, at least put the videos back up.
Today, show you how to shoot a full court shot. It's all in the wrist. Oh yeah! It's all in the wrist. That's what you do. Shoot a full court shot. KickGENIUS, we out.
I'm curious how you got this. I'm gonna keep it a bean with you, bro. You got more footage than me. You talking about, hey, if y'all see this, then put up the videos. My brother, I ain't got him. He nuked it, bro. It's gone. I think it's time to move on, and here's why. Just so I don't have to move everything around. I was gonna do this in a different spot, but I'm gonna just keep it here. Hopefully the background is not too distracting, but I just kind of wanted to clear the air on this situation completely so that everybody can kind of move on and you guys can just get a real and true perspective. Now, obviously, I'm Jay Jones, so I've been silent about this for a very long time. There's been plenty of videos, there's been plenty of diss tracks, there's been a lot of everything. And I've always just tried to keep things as professional as possible, but I still get a lot of this. Maybe my silence hasn't been the best way to go about this situation. Maybe because you guys don't know or you haven't heard from me that you feel a little lost in the situation. So I just want to clear it up, man, and just be able to move forward. So if you have any questions, then maybe you can refer back to this video. It's not for the views. It's not to be messy. It's not for any of that. It's simply so that you have a way to watch what you need to watch without constantly sending me links to all these different things. Let me say this, Kick Genius will forever be a part of all of us. I need you guys to know that. In regards to what I'm trying to accomplish now and what I have accomplished and me starting over from scratch, that's been a lot of Jeremy, bro. That's been a lot of Jay Jones, and I think sometimes that goes a little unappreciated. So I want to break down everything from start to finish if you guys got the time to watch. Firstly, I think I need to give you guys a little bit of history, a little bit from my background, man. I'm from Little Rock, Arkansas. For those who don't know, Little Rock is not the biggest city, but it's a pretty known city. Grew up in a single parent household. It was mainly me, my sister. At one point, it was my great grandma who lived with us. A very small crib, you know what I'm saying? And it kind of shaped me, and I look at it now, and a lot of times I don't even like being this vulnerable because in the past, I felt like, one, it would be kind of embarrassing to my people in the sense that I would kind of talk about some of the things that we would go through. Lights getting cut off at times, water being cut off. I mean, typical black family household, bro. Mom, grandma, if you watching this, don't look at this as a way that I'm trying to be on that, but almost in a way that I'm proud to say how much we have overcome. And I want to just get that point across because it kind of sheds light on the differences you may not have noticed and why I do things a certain way and go about things a certain way. And looking back at it, these are all things honestly that I'm super grateful for now, man. My mom always pushed education on me, always told me that the best way for me to be able to strive is to have good grades, is to work hard. This was also instilled from my grandpa. For those who don't know, I worked at a tire shop growing up with my grandpa. There was a point where I worked 2 jobs to try to help the family out. I worked at a tire shop and I worked at Chick-fil-A at the age of like 15, 16, 17 until I left. She was talking that school stuff, bro, which allowed me to get my scholarship to go to the U of A where I met Trey. So I came up here. I think it was for a visit at the time. I was at a camp. This was before I actually received the scholarship, but I was on my way to probably getting it. Where I'm from, this was unheard of. Not a lot of people even made it up here. I saw Trey. At the time, he had on the LeBron 7s, Phoenix Suns colorway, and I was like, nah, them hard. Because I was one who would rock like hoop shoes too. I peeped stuff like that. So I peeped that at the time, and I think I complimented him. I was like, bro, nah, them bronze hard. Let me remind you, I'm just there to hope to get the scholarship. I don't have it at the time. We ended up hooping, started to kind of connect a little bit on the court, and it was cool vibes. I came back to the Rock, found out I was getting the scholarship, and that's when I ended up moving up this way after I graduated and was starting college. So now I'm back on the hill, and in this program, remember, this is ECAP, Engineer Career Awareness Program. We were both going to school for engineering. He's a year older than me, so he was already up here. Just based off, like the video said, this was a good part of the video. We ended up connecting based off sneakers and hoops. We both liked 501 Levi jeans. Them was hot back in the day. You know what I'm saying? We kind of dressed alike with the polos and the 501s with the J's. Like, it was vibes. You know what I'm saying? We shared the same interests at the time. He ended up having a flat. Now, let me remind you, again, that's why I wanted to give you the background story. I had been working in the shop with my grandpa. He had kind of showed me all these things. Couldn't leave him on the roads. I ended up changing his flat, helped him back. I trailed him to make sure he was safe. To me, that was a turning point in our friendship. We became really close. Fast forward, I ended up meeting Trey. Now, Trey and Trey were a little more familiar with YouTube at the time. Again, why I give you that backstory, the most I did was hoop, play a little Call of Duty, and was in the books. Trey had a channel called Hip Hop Culture TV. Dre was around Trey, so by default, he found himself on certain vids and displayed a level of confidence on camera that I didn't have at the time. I wasn't really even looking to get into it like that. This just kind of happened naturally. We ended up kind of having a discussion one day about what a channel could look like with the three of us involved. Before we came up with the name, we had a dinner at Chili's, bro. We had a dinner at Chili's where the name Kick Genius came about. It was really a spin off Rap Genius. Now let me remind you, they had already had some connection with the rap and hip hop space. I want to say Dre came up with it if I'm being real. Cause he's a thinker like that. We threw out so many names, bro, at that time. Only like one or two would stick. And that one stuck the most, which is how we came up with that intro video that you guys used to see from back in the day. The encyclopedia, what we used to joke about. The goal was for us to come up with a way to share our interests with you guys on camera about the things that we enjoyed. Sneakers, basketball. We did that. Now, it was popular to talk about J's still, but not a lot of people were talking about hoop kicks, and I think that's when we decided that we could really find our way into space. Now, Dre was kind of in and out because he didn't hoop as much as Trey and I did, but he was still around. He would still help with vids that he could at the time, help us film, and he kind of had his own little segment here and there where he would review certain shoes, maybe not playing them. I remember my grandma bought me the Kobe 7s, the ones with the strap that go around the ankle at the time. Did my first video, if you guys remember, back then in those Kobe 7s. I still got them Kobe's to this day. I never throw them away just because my grandma gave them to me. This was my first time doing the test. I think Trey had already did the D rolls at the time, and it was my time to kind of see what I could do. Now remember, I'm not too familiar with being on camera. It's all new to me. Long story short, we saw the potential of what could happen. At the time for me, I'm just speaking for myself, I was still in school. I was still on scholarship, but we wanted to kind of pursue this in a way to make it a full-time thing. It was risky. We thought if we did it together that maybe it could work. For some reason, it just kind of felt like we needed to go all in. It's kind of hard to explain, man, but the universe was just talking at the time, was saying go all in on your dreams, try to see what you can do. Remember, I worked my whole school career to get the scholarship to be at the U of A, only to kind of say, well, I think I'm going to just pursue YouTube. My mama was pissed. My mama was hot at the time. Things started picking up and things started picking up fast. It's crazy because thinking about it now, like as I discuss it, I remember how fast it started to go. Something serious happened. Once something serious happened, we were in Dallas. Once we got drafted, from that point on, it was unheard of, bro. I'm going to keep it a bean. Everybody was really kind of locked in. And I don't even think we realized at the time how we were growing and how fast it was happening. We were just going through our everyday life, bro. Just being homies, just talking about kicks and doing what we do like we always do. But like every group, you can only be up really for so long. And more people were starting to come around. We had Coop around. Dre wasn't around as much, honestly. Nick started to come around. Stuff was still just kind of kicking off, but I remember things started to feel a little more up and down. Now, going back to that video, a great point that he made was that Trey was the more popular guy at the time. This is correct. I never wanted the spotlight. It was never me thinking about, I'm trying to be super popular to get X, Y, and Z. I never went into it like that. All my vibes and vids was solely based off the friendship alone. When it came down to it, I remember tweeting one time, so many people asked why Kick Genius is so successful, how you get into this space. It was simply because of the friendship. And it was, bro. For me, it was no other way around that. The stuff was popping off because we were acting the same way on camera, off camera. I wanted to be better at basketball, and that's kind of what I alluded to during the video as well. It was never, I just wanted to get better, man. I just wanted to get better, and I started to see my progress. I started to see that I could become a better basketball player. I ended up trying out at a small D2 school with my boy CJ. Shout out CJ. And I got offered. I remember I got offered and everything. And they said, get your transcript. We want you over here. We want you to be a part of this. At the time, Kick Genius was making money. You couldn't make money and play college ball at the same time. And I had an opportunity that was coming up where I was put on the poster for the Finish Line joint. And I just didn't want to turn that down. So I ended up not going to that school. I wanted to make some people proud. So I started just working as hard as ever on my craft. It started to become a point where I could edit a full performance test. This was a little bit before Coop. I know I mentioned Coop. This was a little bit before he came around. Throughout this whole process, I'm trying to get better. I'm trying to be a team player. I'm trying to do whatever I can. I'm really locked in still. I will say this. That's one thing that Trey, Dre, and I think Nick have always said, like, my work ethic and me being ready to go was one of my strongest attributes. He for sure edited probably overall more performance tests, but there'll be times, man, where he'll be awake and we'll be awake together just trying to figure out, what songs we wanted to use. Like I wanted it to always feel like we were kind of doing that together, man. He just saw things a little differently at the time. He had other interests, man, and that's just being real. He no longer wanted to do performance tests, whereas I did. He did start rapping, and we supported that. He started to rap a little bit. I think he was making songs or trying to make songs with, I can't remember that guy. I want to say his name was like Nico or something like that. We had the East Bay deal. Things kind of started to change around that time. Now, just come out and say it. We were making about 6 bands a month from East Bay to kind of talk about the Kicks. That money was split 4 ways. I would get $1,500. Trey would get $1,500. Coop would get $1,500. And we would put $1,500 in the KickGENIUS account. At this point, again, let me remind you, if you've been following, then you know there was a lot in between that allowed us to get to this point. So we didn't want to lose that because that was money on top of what we were trying to do with the channel. And it was helping everybody. But I know him and Nick at the time had other interests and other things that they wanted to do, whereas Coop and I were still more on the performance side. At this point, I'm back in school as well. I would be going to school, fly to Wausau, Wisconsin, do the reviews. Coop would meet me there. We would knock them out, and then I would fly back and go back to school sometimes that following day or following, it was probably like a 2-day. Like, it was like a 2-day gap there. But I was making it work. East Bay started to notice that Trey wasn't in as many videos, so they stopped sending product. They kind of knew who was going to do the performance test. We were obligated to do 4, so it was about 1 a week at the time. So a big box came one time, and I didn't know how upset he was about this until Dre ended up telling me a little after the fact and kind of shared a little more insight on the situation. It was some sneakers in the box. All of them was for me. I'm gonna be honest. This wasn't intentional. Again, I didn't request this. They just sent this based off them knowing kind of where I was at. Trey at the time, he was rapping and doing his own thing. He was flying places and was just kind of living his own life. You know what I'm saying? Performance tests, sneakers, hooping wasn't really his thing at this point of time. The box came, he had opened it. He was expecting to have some product in there, and there wasn't any. And I remember him saying like, dang, they didn't send me something. I could sense that he was a little upset about it, and I reassured him that, hey, man, they'll send you the product, but they got to see you in the vids. You know what I mean? They got to see you in the vids. You ain't been in no videos, so that's probably why they not sending that. To me, that didn't sit well with them. To keep it a bean, when it came to a renegotiation period, they didn't want just me. They still wanted KG, me and him both, and they knew that they weren't going to be able to get that. So that pretty much ended the contract at that point, which sucked because that was a real good opportunity, man. I think they were going to help us with merch. They gave us them big posters. I don't even know where those at. I would still like those to this day, honestly. Kind of. But they gave us them big posters, bro. Like, it was so much that they kind of did for us early on that now that I've worked with so many brands don't do that, especially not now. One, they don't feel like they need to, but the people that we were working with were just so like willing to work with us and like hear out our situations and like really be there, and they messed with us, bro. And I just think it was just a little too unprofessional, and they just couldn't look past that part. So with all that, you have to understand that he thought the channel was only his. And although he didn't want to do that and wanted to explore other things, he didn't necessarily want to let the channel go at the same time. And he didn't want me to do it. And I was solely involved with Coop at that time. And I think it just created a lot of confusion, man. A lot of confusion, a lot of disconnect. And it just made things a lot harder, in my opinion, than it needed to be. And I think you guys got caught in the middle of that. But at the same time, it is hard to feel like you're ready to let something go and you're not really willing to. And I think that's why I was almost kind of put in a situation to be forced out. where it was almost like, nah, you need to go ahead and go. And he was hoping to have like a rebrand, a fresh start, where he didn't have to, think about myself as much and just, just try to do things a little differently for him. Towards the end of the video, which is what I briefly discussed as well, the game that a lot of people kind of see that ended it all. Let's backtrack a little bit. Things started to change the more popular we got. Everybody had different interests. My interests, get better at basketball, keep doing the performance test, show your value in a way that allows people to see like, hey, your work ethic is there. Trey seeking different interests, rapping, fulfilling other things that he kind of got on his bucket list. Nothing wrong with it. You feel me? I think he had the pod with Miss Jen. I think that's her name. He had the pod going. Him and Nick were doing certain things that they were kind of experimenting with. But you can see the drift. You can see the drift. We ended up getting the gig with Adidas, which is this game. A lot of people like to roll with this thought that since we didn't win this 2v2 game, that's what ended KickGENIUS. No, KickGENIUS ended because there was a lack of communication there that should have been displayed in a more grown, real way. Where I'm from, that's kind of how you handle situations. I don't mind having conversations. I don't mind being confrontational if it comes down to that. So that's why a lot of times when y'all hearing about this video now, I avoided some of that in the past because I don't really do the internet drama. And I knew kind of how that would be. I'm not really, that's why I gave you my background. I'm not really into internet drama. Like, I don't really like hearing a lot of like BS online, especially not with somebody who I'm essentially in the same city with. Like, I could be on that, but I know myself too. So I've always tried to take the high road in these situations. And that's why I'm telling you about this game. It had nothing to do with us taking this L. I done took plenty of L's. Not just in basketball, in life. So when y'all talking about a 2v2 game, that's very minor to me. If it was just that, we could come back from that, trust me. But it was a lot deeper than that, man. And like I said in the video, if I'm being real, bro, I played 4 or 5 games that day. Nigga, I was tired. I was trying to will us the dub. I didn't want to lose. I don't like losing. That's another thing y'all should know about me. I'm very competitive when it comes to something that I'm good at. Boxing, I'm sparring that. I still spar. Like, torn meniscus right now. I'm hooping. I'm very competitive. But when it's time to get going, I'm with it. Every time. Every time. No cocky, no. And that's win, lose, or draw, bro. I don't mind that. It was never the 2v2 game. It was the uncomfortability, man, when I would be around the house and you could tell that there would be snickering and it's like I was never in on the joke. You can tell that there was something done and I wasn't informed and I had enough time to still be able to do those things. And I never wanted to leave KG. I never wanted to leave KG. And a lot of people kind of, again, correlated that to the 2v2 game. Bro, it ain't had nothing to do with that. Never wanted to leave. Never wanted to let you guys down. I was always a part of the team. Always wanted to be a team player. Always represented KG. And I got the screenshots to prove that. And I got a lot of screenshots. I'm going to keep it a bean. But I'm going to show y'all these so that you guys know where I'm at with it. This is after we got back from the 2v2 thing. And we were having a conversation about the next moves for KickGENIUS. You're going to be busy around 10. Dre's going to come through. Wanted to try and see what direction to go with KickGENIUS now that this Adidas shit is over. The Adidas shit is the games. So y'all know this is not cap. I said word, I'll slide that way. Wasn't sure what this was about. I don't know. I think at the time, I don't know if I was so uncomfortable in the spot that I would just be, like I would stay with my boy Bees. Think I had moved though, just because I started to feel very weird in my own space and that's never good. So I think I just moved out. Boom, you can read that. Let me know. Give me 25 minutes on my way. I'm leaving from the studio now, which goes back to what I was saying. He was rapping. He was doing his thing. I said, all right, bet. I'm going to be there. It's Nick in there. I was going to go in, just kind of chill, whatever. So this is after our conversation. I went there. And during that conversation, when I was talking to all them, I was told, hey, bro, you need to make a video announcing that you ain't going to be around as much. Pretty much get the hell out of here, bro. That's what it was. I'm going to keep it a bean. It hit me from left field. I ain't going to a different state. I'm down the street. So I'm thinking, worst case, you know what I'm saying? We're going to still be able to film the content that we need to film. I had For the Love of the Game popping. I was happy doing that. I remember making this video, no cap. I remember making this video about my involvement at least 4 different times. Each time I did it, it didn't feel right. It felt worse every time I made it. I was like, bro, why am I saying this and I'm not trying to leave? Came to my senses. It's uploaded. Damn, I don't see that shit. KickGENIUS YouTube channel, right? I said, it's not uploaded. I don't feel the need to say what's obvious. The people already know I'm not around at this point. Granted, a lot of you guys were probably wondering where I was. I was trying to come up with the best way to announce that I wasn't going to be around while asking myself, why am I not around? Like, why am I telling y'all I ain't around and I'm trying to be around? I honestly don't see it getting that bad, though. I mean, unless there's something said that would make the situation look bad. That's me. I think you should. For the reasons we all talked about the other night, I had about 40 comments on my podcast talking about where Jay Jones at. That doesn't even have anything to do with you. KG videos are going to be 10 times worse. We all agreed it would be best that there's an explanation from you. I said I'll drop the video if the comments get that bad. The last thing I want is for people to think that I'm turning my back on them, talking about you guys, talking about the KickGENIUS viewers, and or you guys, talking about Trey and Nick. I don't want y'all thinking I'm turning my back on y'all either. Why wait until it gets bad? Question mark. It's bad enough now just based off my podcast comments. If what you said in the video has to do with you posting for the love of the game once a month and that you're finishing school, possibly East Bay, etc., then that's not turning your back. That's just giving clarity to the subscribers. But at this point, something needs to be said. You get the point. We going back and forth at this point. I'm done with school next semester. There is no deal with East Bay. That's been over, and I think we all knew that. No deal. You threw the shoes. Deal is off. So there is no deal with East Bay. I for sure kept the video professional, if that's what you mean. I had recorded the video. Let the actions do the talking. As long as no fake or false information is told, we should be good. I'll drop the video when the timing is right for me. It was a lot for me, bro. I didn't want to. I'm saying the same thing. I couldn't come out with a video announcing that I'm leaving when I wasn't trying to leave. Why am I saying I'm gone, bro? And this is one of the best things that has happened to me. I love KG. I was finna get KG tatted. It was gonna be KickGENIUS or never fold. Made a better choice there. I said, for sure, do what you need to do. Just don't paint a picture that's not 100% accurate. Don't mention East Bay. They prefer not to be talked about on the channel anymore. Don't mention me going to school. We all know that's pretty much over with. I was always on top of my priorities. And lastly, please don't mention London. London, my daughter. I didn't know how far they was going to take it. At this point, I'm becoming a new dad too. So you got to think, all this is happening at one time. I'm losing KickGENIUS. I'm becoming a dad. I don't know where I'm going to get money from because East Bay is now gone. I just moved out to a spot on my own, so no bills are split. I'm in a spot where I gotta start everything over and figure it out fast. LOL, you telling me everything not to say. That's why we wanted you to make the video in the first place. If you want to be 100% accurate, just tell it yourself the way you know 100%. That's Trey. My bad. Maybe I worded that the wrong way. Don't use school as an excuse. That's never came before KickGENIUS, and definitely not the people that I care about. This every bit of 2018 that I'm saying this. This is 2018. Don't use East Bay as a reason for the change or whatever that occurred, or blame me for simply trying to complete the contract, which is also what I've told you guys. And London has nothing to do with the situation at all. If there's something I'm missing, then fine. It'll be good to know. It's not my job to explain a situation that was not caused by me. He then said, what was the cause? I replied, I'm honestly not too sure. I just know this didn't happen because of me. I've always been a good friend and member of the squad. None of this has been easy for me to do, and the more I asked myself why I was doing it, the less I could come up with an answer. Talking about the video. Why am I making a video when I don't want to leave the channel, bro? And I'm saying this. I love the brand, I love the people, I love hooping. Why would I say I'm walking away when I'm not? I'll wait on you to state the cause and be shocked like the rest of the world. That way, if I legit really did something wrong, I'll be unaware, but at least I can apologize to you for whatever it is. If I did something wrong that you ain't telling me, at least I can say I apologize when you come out with something. Not sure what you're looking for me to say though. Who said anything about walking away? That's not the point of the video. It was to explain why you wouldn't be as many videos as I. We talked about this in person. I don't understand why we're moving backwards now. That's essentially what it would be. Let's change it though. Why would I state that I'm no longer in as many videos as you and with you when it's not my responsibility to say that? This wasn't a choice made by me. I'm standing on it. I'm not finna make a video really Xing myself out so that people can say, yeah, man, Jay Jones just left. Which is essentially what y'all thought. Now don't switch up now. No, Jay Jones was the one that I saw all of that. And I've been having this for years. He responded, "No need to be disrespectful about anything here. Everything I've said has been neutral in tone. Be shocked like the rest of the world is unnecessary sarcasm, especially since we've talked about this in person. We definitely stated why I'd be in more videos. Remember when we were discussing how all this started, KICKGENIUS, and I said we used to be super tight and the videos were a product of that energy? That energy isn't there anymore. We don't do everything together. We don't live together. So the videos will reflect that. Main reason you do this is because of the friendship that comes with it." This is him saying this, not me. "I do it out of creativity," which is what he said. He does it out of creativity. I do it because of the friendship. 100% accurate. I always said that. It was the friendship that brought us together to be able to get creative in the first place. So I'm going to do it regardless, and that's perfectly fine. It's not somebody's fault, and it's not about me causing something and me having to explain it. It's just the reality of the situation and me not wanting to speak for you. The main concern is, where is Jeremy? And I do not want to speak on your behalf. We did talk about it in person. Talking about it then and my thoughts now are not the same. Definitely not being disrespectful, and I'm not being sarcastic, which I wasn't. I think your message is good, and that's what you should say. That I do it because of the friendship and he does it because of, being creative. I said, tell him that. Tell him that then. If I have to make a video just simply stating that you won't be in as many videos as me moving forward, then I think we need to pull the plug completely in regards to your involvement with KICKGENIUS. There's no cooperation on this small task, which makes absolutely no sense. There's no sense in hanging on to something that's not there. You don't even know if you want to do For the Love of the Game anymore. When did I say that? For the Love of the Game is based off how Lil Brad feels as well. As of right now, the only thing that would possibly go on the channel from me is For the Love of the Game. I'll also be at the event. This is already known, so I'm confused on what else needs to be said. You don't have to check. That's the thing. I already told you. Possibly For the Love of the Game, depending on how Bradley is feeling about all of this and the hoop events. I'm not home. I can't make it to come over there. The truth is that you will not be as many videos as me. That's the truth, period, nothing more. I'm not asking you to go in any deeper into personal situations. We going back and forth. You can read the screenshots from there. I put them on, and that was pretty much the end of it. But I say all that to say, and I drive home my final thoughts, bro. I never wanted KICKGENIUS to end. Never wanted to leave KICKGENIUS. Never wanted any of that. I said the same things that I'm saying now, that I said in 2018, that I said in 2016, that I said when I started in 2012. It was always based off the friendship. It was always based off me trying to hoop. It was always based off my love for sneakers. It was always based off those things being combined. And if you don't know me by now to know what type of person I am, I can't help you with that. There was a lot of stuff that I ignored, that I kept quiet for many years. Him hitting up my girl at the time, which he apologized for. He did, which he apologized for that. Multiple diss tracks, man, so many diss tracks. Deleted all the KG videos. Guys, it's only so much I can do. Now, I ain't gonna sit here and tell y'all that I may not be in another diss track or another documentary or another reaction video soon. But I am telling y'all that if you rocking with me, I've been a team player. I never stopped making videos. And I'm hoping that this gives you enough insight to know that I try to be as real as possible when it comes to this stuff, man. And I never wanted it to get like this. There is no going back to KG. And I think moving forward, of course, I know all of you can't just let it go. It was a big part of us, but you got to treat it, how I do. I'm involved directly. Support where I'm at right now. If you don't do nothing else from this, I know a lot of y'all might watch this and may not watch nothing else from me, but I got so many good people in my life now that y'all could be enjoying content and stuff with me. I'm coaching with Clay. Clay is such a good friend. Like, hands down, I don't think y'all get it. Clay is such a good, the greatest friend on earth. I'm a good friend. He's a better friend than, and there's so much joy in that you could kind of be watching, but you still caught up in something from the past, and y'all want to just call me KICKGENIUS instead of Jeremy, and not guys, there's a lot more to what I do than just that part of my life from when I was 18 to 24. I'm finna be 32 this year. Come on, man. There's a lot. There's so much to that now. Content with Rye and content with Jalen. These are people, content with Snipe. These are people that I talk to on a normal that I could film content with that you can still really enjoy if you just lock in with me and not everything that you want to believe that's happened in the past. And I get it, bro, and I know it's tough, and maybe some of those videos you do want to see again. But those memories ain't got to be gone. You just take them for what they are, and you appreciate where things are now. And again, bro, don't be surprised if this sparks up a whole new something. People were saying, hey, bro, you ain't got to feel like you ain't a part of this. We can sue and get your part of the channel back. Nah, we ain't got to do that. I always try to take the high road, and I'm going to continue to do that. But I need you guys to meet me at least halfway. You know, at the time, I ain't going to lie. Like I said in the beginning, man, it was super sad because I was really close to all of them. I grew up with Nick. You know what I mean? Me and Nick went to school together from 9th through 12th grade. But I look at it now, and I know that without some of those experiences, without some of those times, that, you know, some of the things that I've experienced after that wouldn't be possible. Never Fold wouldn't even be a thing if things were going the way that they were with Kick Genius, I'll be honest. Because I always hesitated to start my own brand because I didn't want the confusion or to seem like I wasn't a team player. But I was given that opportunity when I had no other choice. So it is just time to move on, man. You got to think about what we done been through. We done had the United States stop, the world stop, came back, tried it again, and it still didn't work. It's GG's, bro. If you don't get nothing else from this, just know I tried my best. Just know that the love never stops. My love for basketball, sneakers, none of that will ever stop. It's a part of my DNA. It's who I am. Thank you for being here. Thank you for watching. And just be on the lookout for what's to come. And if you with me, you with me. And if you not, I understand. I'm not for everybody. But I appreciate those that are. Love y'all. I'm out.